Christmas though. Noel.
Feliz Navidad.
What's the Welsh? Nadolig Llawen, innit?
You should know that. I have no idea.
So this is cool. I mean, we're obviously not able to meet in person. With everything that's going on, and quite frank, it's too close to Christmas for a trip to London. It's just gonna be chaos, isn't it? So thought we'd meet online and just do like a top 3 tips each on how to stay on track like throughout the holidays. Which you can probably find on Google, sure, but we haven't put them on there, so come and hear it from us, different perspective.
And our tips are better, obviously.
Surely. And the way we're going to do it is we'll do it in a draft format, like a snake. So you go, I go, you go, I go, and that means that you might actually choose like 1 or 2 or 3 of mine, and I'm just there with the rest of my kind of my sub list, my subcategory.
What if you steal mine? I've got 4, so I've got an extra one as well, just in case.
I got 6. I got 6 to go to. Yeah. Some of them are more specific than others, and so I thought it would be cool to do that. And it's not like everything has to be on track because it's Christmas, right? Everyone's trying to relax a little bit. It's just don't fully derail. It's kind of stay on track to some degree, but just don't derail. And this is how we would do it. All right. So I think let's just get into it. Ladies first. What's your first one? Go.
So my first one is walk.
Love it.
Did you have that one on your list?
No, actually. No, I'd be quite happy with that.
So I think when I'm thinking about my top tips to stay on track, I'm very much talking from experience. So I've got a history of kind of emotional binge eating, and so Christmas and also mental health issues and stuff like that. So Christmas is a time of year I actually really love, but at the same time, particularly with the food situation, historically it has been very much like a stressful thing. And I think the way I've tried to combat that when I first started in my fitness journey was train as hard as you possibly can, even on Christmas Day when the gyms aren't open. You should do 100 press-ups and blah. No. And I think the more mature I've got in my fitness journey, the more I understand that consistency is better than going full out all year round, Christmas, whatever that is. So for me, number 1 tip is walk. Now I know everyone's situations are different, but most of us do have a little bit of extra time at Christmas. So especially with the virus going on and stuff like that, and most people are working from home, walk, find a time in the day that suits you and get some steps in. If you've got a dog, realistically you should be taking the dog for walks. But even on your lunch break, going to grab a coffee, having a walk, doing an extra lap around a park. If you've got kids, take your kids to the park. I know for me, last time I was on holiday, not abroad because of COVID and that, but when I went to Brighton in the summer, obviously Brighton is by the fairground. So breakfast, lunch and dinner, I was probably eating donuts, candy floss, burgers before I was vegan. And I came back from that and I thought, I definitely put on 5 kilos and I'm fine with that because I had a great time and then I'll get back on track. And actually, I maintained my weight. So not that I was too fussed about it, but it was really interesting to see because I'd eaten crap. I'd eaten loads and loads and loads of crap. But actually, because of the fact that I was doing between 10 and 20,000 steps a day, my weight stayed the same, even though I really kind of overindulged during that 5-7 day period. So walking also aids digestion. So in those times where we are maybe overindulging on the alcohol or the cheese or extra carbs, which is great, it's fine. The last thing you want is to be bloated, constipated, stomach cramps. Walking really aids that. So rather than eating a massive meal and then sitting down for the rest of the day, go for a little walk. It will actually make you feel tons better. So
Love it.
that's
Love that.
tip number
Simple.
1 from me.
Very simple. And you actually, I was going to add to it, but you took it all anyway, so thanks for that.
Ooh.
And you also touched upon a couple of the ones that I was going to share later on, so I'm not going to say anything else. Let's move
Stop
on.
it.
All right, I've got a big
Yes,
list here.
what's yours?
I had them in order, but actually based on what you just said, I'm going to change it up a little bit and more specific to food. And I'm just going to say, you are going to be going off track a little bit with your food. You're going to indulge, you're going to overindulge, and that's all good. One good meal a day. You can do that. Have one good meal a day. And my top tip for that is if you can master breakfast and have the most nutritious start to your day before you start eating all the crap, just do it. And I think the first thing I would personally do would be hydration. Keep that. Obviously, you know, it's really, really important. It's going to help digestion and everything else as well. But yeah, have a really full, big, like hearty breakfast, but very, very full of nutrition. So if you can get a good source of protein and good source of carbs, like overnight oats or something, and just if you already have a really good routine with your nutrition and your breakfast anyway, I'd say if you've got that, keep it. One thing we like to do at Christmas is we will do oats, and then we'll do like, oh, it's lovely. You do kind of apple and you chop it all up with maple syrup and cinnamon, and you just put it in a pan and just lightly like, you know, cook it, whatever, for like 5-10 minutes, and it softens, and then mash it up and stick it in with the oats. Beautiful. So yeah, I would
that
say
sounds good.
Top tip, have one good meal every day amongst all of the other indulgences, but if it can be breakfast, that's only going to set you up for a good day.
I think that's such a great idea, because I know in the past, and I'm going to take that actually, that's an awesome tip, because I know sometimes I'm like, especially on Christmas Day, when you're like, well, we won't eat lunch till about 2 or 3, and you know, most people have a massive roast or some sort of really lavish meal. So I've often thought, oh, I'll save myself till then. But then what ends up happening is the minute you sit down and eat, it hits your stomach like a brick, and you can't really enjoy the meal. It's harder to digest. So that thing of like, you know, and I've always thought, oh, that lunch has so many calories, so I'll skip breakfast. Actually, having that breakfast, yeah, I think that's a great idea. Definitely going to take that one on for sure.
Definitely simple, and you feel good. You know, you've given your body that nutritional foundation to then welcome a little bit more of an indulgence later on in the day. Nice, one each. We've got 2 more left.
Sick.
Choose wisely. I've got a great one for the next. I hope you don't steal it.
Mine, when we think about this period of indulgence, my next tip is to set a start date and an end date. So when we think about like the period of Christmas, I mean, really that could start from, I know we're far away from that now, but that can essentially start from like the 1st of December, really all the way through to like mid-January. And you know, when after Christmas, when you've opened, like loads of people have sent you chocolate, or you've got loads of leftovers or something like that, and then sometimes you might find it's mid-January now, the Christmas period is over, and you've still got all this kind of cheese and chocolate and alcohol that you're still packing away. And you know, I'm in no way saying that cheese and chocolate and alcohol is only for Christmas. Absolutely, eat it all year round. But there's very much a difference between 6 weeks of crazy indulgence and then like maybe 5 to 7 days, for example, because, you know, there's a quote that's, what is it? You're not going to get skinny from eating one salad in the same way you're not going to get fat from eating one burger. Like, you can eat junk food, it doesn't make you fat, but at the same time, eating one salad doesn't make you fat. So it's about this, skinny. So it's about this kind of consistency, and thinking, okay, in 6 weeks, you really, really can derail. However, 5 to 6 days of kind of indulgence, or just 2 or 3 days over that sort of, you know, Christmas Eve to Boxing Day or something, real hardcore indulgence, that's not going to derail you. But really thinking about, okay, I'm not saying, you know, start again 1st of January, New Year's resolution, but thinking about, okay, well, you know, if you do want to make progress, when it gets to about the 15th of January, do you still want to be saying, oh, but it's Christmas? If you want to eat cheese, no problem. But we kind of get into this whole, it's Christmas and therefore I can still indulge and those calories are empty. Well, unfortunately, they're not. So for me, I'd say set a start date and then set an end date. And when that end date comes, not saying you don't drink or you don't indulge, but thinking, okay, I'm no longer in this mindset of it's Christmas. Yeah. It's not Christmas anymore. Let's get back to a little bit of normality and routine.
I love that. I was laughing because like we hear it every year. And, like every excuse, as long as you say it's Christmas, you can get away. I punched a bloke, but you know it's Christmas. It's all good, isn't it?
Yeah, yeah, exactly. Yeah.
So yeah, I like that. I really like that. I think having dates and a start point and like a cut-off point, isn't it? And it's not waiting for the next new excuse of New Year's resolutions, which I hate. But
it's also one of those things where. And that can be applied kind of all year round because, you know, you say, oh, well, I'm on holiday. Well, you know, the holiday's 2 weeks long and 2 weeks of hardcore indulgence is going to derail you. In the same way, you know, the birthday. Okay, no one's saying that on your birthday celebration, don't have a slice of cake and get drunk. Sure, go for it. But your birthday doesn't last an entire month. Yeah. So it's the same sort of principle of absolutely go wild now and again. But if you use that as an excuse every time, Christmas, then it's your birthday, then it's your kid's birthday, then it's your anniversary with your partner, then it's Valentine's Day. Well, you know, there's only 12 months in a year, and do you want to make progress or not?
Yeah, absolutely. I love it.
I know that sounds savage, but it's true. It's not your birthday every day.
Absolutely. Exactly. Love it. That leads me on. I think that segues nicely into one of mine. And I was going to talk about just the goal setting process for next year, but actually I'm going to look at, you know, the time like after Boxing Day between kind of the 27th and like the 30th, and you're just lost and you don't know what day it is, and you're just like, what's my purpose in life, kind of thing. It's a perfect time, and actually I'm going to be doing a motivation video for this particular topic, and this is the perfect time when you have the time, make time to review, not just set goals for next year, but really review this year. So 2021 review, and it's not just, did I do well with my fitness and my lifestyle? Yeah, great, well done. Next year it's going to be better. It's really looking deep dive as much as you want, but not just how did I do, but what did I learn this year about myself? What did I learn about other people? Like my fitness, you know, my lifestyle, my nutrition, my recovery. What did I contribute? What new skill did I develop or master? Or what skill did I not quite, you know, achieve? And what skill did I fail at? Because those things then and those answers will give you the answers for what are going to be my goals for 2022. Not just a quick resolution, I need to lose weight by this wedding. It's like, I really want to work on this or improve this or get rid of this thing entirely. I want to learn more, so I'm going to read more about this. I want to contribute more, so I'm going to speak to more like-minded people in the gym and get their perspective on this. Do you see what I mean? So I think a 2021 review and not just thinking about it, you can talk about it, sure, but write it and maybe start a diary, and that could be a really good way to kind of really truly track short and long-term goals, as opposed to just a quick fix, you know, New Year's resolution that starts on the 7th of Jan and ends on the 12th.
Yeah. I think that's a great idea, because I know I'm someone that, and I know for you as well, we advocate for, you know, these very small, practical, step-by-step things for fitness goals and whatever else. However, you can only have those small goals if you know what the bigger picture is. So, you know, none of us have got it all sorted. And, you know, for me, I don't know what the next 10 years look like. But there are certain things I'd quite like to achieve next year. Maybe I haven't verbalized that yet, but it's only when you know kind of the long-term bigger picture side of stuff that you can set those small step-by-step goals and say, okay, well, you know, this year I want to be deadlifting 100 kg for 10 reps. How many times do I have to train on a weekly basis to do that? Do you know what I mean? Or I need to lose 5 stone. Well, okay, that's the bigger picture. You don't lose 5 stone in a week. So then weekly or daily, what do I have to do? And then you're taking a big goal and you're breaking it up into these really, really small, manageable steps. But because I am such a realist and I am someone that advocates for those small steps, actually that bigger picture, that's what keeps you going as well, isn't it? So I think that kind of yearly review, you know, it doesn't have to be a New Year's resolution. I'm not keen on those, but just that sort of, that like reflection of, right. And not just for fitness, but, you know, for mental health, for your relationships with your partner or your kids or friendships. Like, it doesn't have to be fitness related.
Yeah,
I think
absolutely.
that's such a good idea. I love that.
I think so. And I think it is a good time because you can, you know, sit down and really, you're not doing anything really much else. So maybe you can sit down and do that. And also in terms of like keeping you on track or not derailing, it kind of builds a little bit of anticipation for the new year and a bit of excitement. And it's like, what did I learn? I learned that I can achieve this in this many days by doing these little things. So I know that I can do that, and I've done it, and I might have fallen off track a little bit and I've not maintained it. So, okay, let's reboot that. It's not start again, it's pick up where you left off. How exciting is that, knowing that I've done a lot of the groundwork, I know what works, how can I make it even better? Excitement, like that's a good way, a good time to generate a little bit of that. So I think that's a cool way to enter the year.
And this isn't my next tip, because I want to say something else, but related to that, something I did a couple of years back where I was really struggling with my mental health, around about this time, like a few years ago, like just before the new year, I made this like jar, and I can't remember what I called it, but I basically then over the next, I was going to do it for a year, but I think I only ended up doing it for like 2 or 3 months, which was really good. And I basically said, like, every time I did something that I was like proud of, or I had a moment that like I really enjoyed that brought me happiness or something, I'd just scribble it down and write it in this jar. And I only did it for 2 or 3 months, but even in that time, like I ended up with this jar full of like, you know, opening this piece of paper and being like, I had this really amazing conversation with so-and-so, or, you know, I had 2 weeks without binge eating, or just things that I was like, oh, wow. Because sometimes you get to the end of the year, and I think particularly with the virus and stuff at the moment, and you think, where did that year go? Like, what the hell have I done? Like, I've just about managed to keep going. But for all of us, and I was saying this to someone the other day, if you've managed to keep your job during this time of the COVID-19 or whatever it's been, that is such a blessing. And no matter how hard it's been, there are still things that every single one of us can look back on this last year and think, even if that's just a tiny thing, that brought me joy, or this is something to be thankful of. Like the amount of people who've been able to stay at home and spend more time with their children. And I don't have kids, I know it's stressful, but you know, before the complaint would have been, I'm always working, I don't see my kids. Now there might, you know, over the last year, of course it's been stressful, but maybe you have been able to do more school runs with your kids, or you have been able to be away from work earlier and spend more time with your partner. So there's so many things to look back on and actually be thankful for, even though it's been a bit of a shitty 2 years.
I love that.
So
I love that. Is that one, or have you still got one left?
No, I've got one left. In fact, I'm choosing out of 2.
Okay, so I think it's your choice, isn't it, to finish?
Yeah, my choice. Yeah, that was just a little rant that was inspired by what you said.
Okay.
So, my last one again is food related.
Yeah.
Indulge in the food that you actually like. So before you just go all out crazy, put anything in your mouth that you want to put in, which there's nothing wrong with that over Christmas for a day or 2 or whatever. But the amount of times when I've overindulged at Christmas and I think, I don't like any of that food. So for me, you know, people find this really funny when I say this, but I don't actually like chocolate very much. I never have. I'm very much like a salty kind of girl, like give me the crisps any day. But the amount of times I've like binged or overindulged in like chocolate or cake, I genuinely don't like it. Like it doesn't bring me any pleasure. Like I don't like the taste. I don't like sweet things. So for me, like over Christmas, I'm already thinking like on Christmas Day, I'm going all out. Like I don't care what I eat. I'm absolutely going for it. Yeah. What do I actually want to eat though? So, you know, I'm thinking about the food that I really enjoy and I'm like, you know what, I'd rather eat like 10 pastries, or like a whole massive, because that's what I enjoy. So if I'm gonna indulge, if I'm gonna have those extra calories, I'm not gonna sit there and eat a tin of Celebrations. First of all, they're not vegan, but let's pretend I'm not vegan for a second. Like, I don't enjoy chocolate. So think about, and even with alcohol choices, like if you love red wine, drink a whole bottle of don't drink a whole, well, you know, if you love red wine, drink red wine. Don't get the beers out and start downing them and thinking, okay. If you're going to indulge on food that you really, really enjoy. Is that the timer?
Oh, it's the shut it timer. It's Christmas. We need more time.
So basically, indulge in what you want to indulge in, not just what's there. If you want to indulge in cheese, buy a cheese that you're really gonna love. Don't just think, oh well, this is available, this is in the fridge. I don't like if you're gonna have those extra calories and feel a bit sick and bloated, make sure you've bloody enjoyed the food. Like, there's no point in sitting there.
Yeah, that cheese and crackers tradition at the end of the night, and you've had like Christmas pudding like half an hour before your stuff, but you have it anyway. For me, it's more stress than anything else. By the time you butter it, and then the cheese and then everything else that goes on, you take one bite of it and it falls all over the place. What's the point? What's the point? But
it's true. Like, and it's like, if you like Christmas pudding more than cheese and crackers, have another portion of Christmas pudding. Enjoy the indulgence, because otherwise you're just going to feel like, okay, I overindulged, I'm bloated, I don't feel good. For what? Like, I didn't even have any kind of food that I actually enjoy. Like, eat the food that you want to eat. Don't just pack away food like mindlessly, and alcohol, just getting it down. Like, the amount when we drink like port and sherry and stuff like that, I guarantee 90% of people don't like the taste of that shit. And they do it because it's Christmas. But if you prefer a bloody can of Strongbow or, a little bit of rosé, get that down instead. So don't waste, don't just consume it mindlessly. Like, enjoy what you're eating and indulge in a way that, you actually enjoy that food. Because, if you're going to indulge, let it be enjoyable. Like, there's no point in eating food you don't like.
Yeah, love it. So I'm down to the last one, right?
Go for it.
I could probably couple a couple of these into one. All right, let's go with. I'm just going to go with like the broad topic of just doing something more than nothing. I love that, and that can apply to exercise. It can apply to recovery, so sleep or mobility. It can apply to nutrition. It can apply to goal setting, whatever. Like, it's a very general one. But do something more than nothing. So, for example, instead of literally, like you said about walking, don't just sit on the couch. Like, if you're going to do a workout, even if it's only 5 minutes long, or it's one of our 10-minute workout of the weeks on Instagram or YouTube, go and find it. Do that. Do that. If it's eating one good meal again, just eating that one good meal is doing something. And stretching and recovery, and like, if you just wake up and do 5 minutes of mobility, and again, we've got plenty of that, just do it. But this is one thing I wanted to come back to from what you said earlier. People generally, they will more likely have more time over the Christmas holidays, and it's about finding time. No, it's about making it. And if you can make time
100%.
and physically write it on your wall calendar, on your fridge or whatever, like, have it there in writing. I have a non-negotiable 5 minutes here to do something more than nothing, and I'm going to do a 5-minute workout, and all I'm going to do is 5 minutes of maximum burpees, and I'm going to aim for a minimum requirement of like 60 reps, and I'm going to go chest to ground. That's all I want to do for 5 minutes. Boom, good to go. Shower, one good meal, enjoy it. And that kind of segues into an honorable mention. Is, regardless of everything you've done and everything you're going to do with your lifestyle next year, have some friggin' fun this Christmas. Like, enjoy it, because, like you said, we've got to be grateful for the time that we can hopefully have with our family now, and all the restrictions that are happening. Do it in everything in moderation, my nan always said, but really just have fun and still look after yourself and stay as healthy as possible.
Yeah, for sure. And you gave the example of burpees there. I would just say, do stuff that, literally have fun. So for me, doing 5 minutes maximum burpees, I can't ever imagine doing that in my life unless you paid me a lot of money. Like, there's not a chance I'd do that. However, what I absolutely love is going for a little walk, or even I've got a cross trainer just over there, jumping on that for 5-10 minutes. And then because I enjoy it, I actually end up doing it for longer, you know, put a bit of reality TV on the old Netflix, and then I'm away and I can get on there for an hour. So it's find something that you enjoy doing. The amount of people at the moment whose goal is to be able to get better at press ups, and I say 30 seconds every day, no longer. 30 seconds, jump out of bed, do max press ups in 30 seconds. That's how I managed to get my press ups better. And it took a little while, not that long, like 6 weeks after doing that every day, I could do 10 perfect full press ups from being able to do none. So it is just that consistency, and it's not one size fits all. If you don't like burpees, don't do burpees. If you don't like the amount of people that try and do running who don't like running, if you don't like running, don't do running. Don't do it. Do walking. Do walking. You will never see me do a 5K. You'll never see me do it. Although I am very inspired by Leonie, and I feel like it could be a similar thing of like how you got me onto the vegan thing. I said I'll never be vegan. Now I'm vegan, and I feel like if Leonie gets her hands on me, I feel like I'd be doing a 5K in I'll say no time. It'll take me about an hour and a half to do it. But if you don't like running, don't do running. If you don't like burpees, don't do burpees. If you don't like yoga, don't do yoga. Like, find something that works for you over Christmas. Don't make yourself do something you don't want to do, but keep yourself moving and indulge on the food that you actually like, the stuff you actually
really like. I like that, because often you just hear, oh yeah, indulge a little bit. I would have said that, but indulge a little bit on the things that you really like and want to eat.
Yeah.
I think it's so much better to think like that. And with that in mind, we're pretty much done with our 3. Got any one-liner kind of honourable mentions? Without explaining any of it, just one line?
Prioritize your mental health.
Love it. I've got...
Yeah.
I think I've said all mine, to be honest. I think I'm done.
Drink water.
Yeah,
Drink water.
Absolutely hydrate.
Yeah.
I think that'll do it. And I think
That'll do it.
We're in a time at the moment where it's all just, everything's going a bit crazy. So, you know, from us, I say from Burn It, like, just Merry Christmas to everyone, and you know, stay safe. And obviously, a lot of people that we know are quite close to us are still not able to really spend the time they want to spend with their family, because a lot of them are in isolation and stuff. So just our love goes out to them.
Absolutely.
Anything else you want to? That was quite a heavy end. Let's finish on a high note. Finish this on a high note. One-liner. Pressure.
Ho ho ho.
Merry Christmas. We need to ear bump. How are we going to do it? Let's do it through the screen. Let's do it on the phones. Boom.
On the phone? On the Zoom?
On the phone.
Okay, that absolutely flopped.
There you go. See you next year.
Love it.